Hi Aries, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your February 2024 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what will be in front of us, the Celtic Growth spread as always, and also pulled 4 agreements and Wisdom of the Oracle card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have 10. And 10th house energy for you guys is Capricorn. Of course, at the time I'm recording this, we're still technically in Capricorn season. And as we move through February, there's still going to be quite a bit of energy in Capricorn. You're going to have Mercury in there for a while. For about half the month, you're still going to have Venus in there and Mars. So plenty of energy going on in your 10th house, wherever. We've had Pluto in there for a really long time, and it's moving back into Aquarius. So that energy will be out of there, but yeah, makes sense to see a lot of 10th house energy popping up in your dice as well. So we also have Neptune. Neptune is in Pisces, which is your 12th house. 12th house in general could point to spirituality, blind spots, and mental health. And speaking of Pisces, we have Pisces as well. And of course, as we get toward the end of February, we're going to be in Pisces season. So it makes sense to see that coming up too. So yeah, it could be a lot of focus on 12th house matters, which we just mentioned what those are. So we'll keep that in mind as we go through the main spread. Okay, in the main situation position, we have Justice. And challenging that, we have, well, Justice reverse, I should say. And challenging that, we have the Emperor. So this is actually the Major Arcana card for Libra. And this is the Major Arcana card for your sign. So this could just be saying that in many areas of life, maybe you feel like things are out of balance, maybe even just your own energy might feel out of balance. And if that's the case, you could just be saying that the challenge there could be, you could be getting in your own way in some way. So for example, maybe you're a little bit too stubborn around the situation where you just, you're determined to do things a certain way, and maybe it's not necessarily working out the way that you'd hoped initially, but at the same time, there is a resistance on your part to re-strategize around that plan. If there's maybe a one-to-one situation, right, maybe that situation could feel out of balance, and could just be saying that, again, because you might be a little determined to get your own way around the situation, that could be causing an imbalance within the connection at this time. All right, in the foundation position, we have the Sun. So yeah, to me, this is an indicator that you're probably being called to take a more light and playful approach to things this month, and that could be the key to getting things back into balance, seeing that Justice energy in the reverse, right? So I feel like that's what you're primarily being called to, and it's interesting, right? Because seeing the 10th house energy come up in your dice, and like I mentioned, all of the energy you guys have in your 10th house, that could be a very serious house, a very focused, determined house, right? So, and like I said, the Pluto energy you guys have had in there for so long, could just be even those energies shifting through that's really causing you to be in this energy now, and then maybe as things start to progress into Aquarius, you might feel the energy start to lift a little bit. All right, and in the past position, we have the Knight of Swords. So yeah, this is Gemini energy here, and this could just be saying that this was the energy that you were in the past, where, you had a goal in mind, you would immediately go after it, right? You would just tackle it, no questions asked, right? Just straight ahead, goal in sight, and being determined to reach the goal. All right, in the present position, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So this is actually Capricorn energy, which again came up in your dice. So yeah, it could just be saying that maybe you've gone through that phase, right, in the past where, okay, I have these goals I want to achieve, and this could represent that you've potentially reached those goals, right? So this could be a time where maybe now you are able to relax a little bit more and say, okay, I had my goal set, I reached the goal, let me actually take some time to relax and enjoy the fruits of my labor. All right, in the near future position, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So yeah, this is a Taurus energy here, and it could just be saying that, okay, it's one thing when you reach the goal, but now you might be reconsidering, well, is that exactly what I needed, or do I have to look at these goals again? So Let me give you a super generic example, but it could at least give some practical energy to what we're talking about. So let's say 4 years ago, you said, "Oh, I'm going to enroll in college to get this degree. As soon as I get out of college, I'm going to make 70 grand," right? Given that we see seven pentacles, we'll just say that number. And you do so, right? You get your degree. Now you're all right, fresh out of school. You get 70 grand a year at your job. But now at the same time, what 70 grand could have gotten you back when you first started school versus, now with inflation and the housing market the way it is and all the other stuff going on, that 70 grand looks a lot different now, right? So now you're like, oh, great. Well, I had this goal. I'm going to get 70 grand. I'll be able to do this, that, and the other with it. And now that's not the reality in this moment, right? So now you're like, oh, do I have to go back to the drawing board now? Do I need to go for 100,000, right? Or whatever the case may be. So now you could be reflecting on, okay, yes, I reached the goal I initially set, but now it's like the goalpost have moved, right? So that could be an energy that you're grappling with right now. And, again, like I said, I used a financial example there just with the pentacles and all the 10th house energy you guys have, but could apply that to other areas of life too. Like I said, I just thought that'd be a good practical example of how the energy could be playing out. All right, as far as your influence in the situation, we have the Knight of Wands. So yeah, another Knight energy, right? So like I said in the past, looks like you were at that Knight energy, very action-oriented energy. Okay, I got this goal, I'm going to go after it. Looks like you were able to spend a brief moment in that Queen of Pentacles energy, like, okay, I've achieved the goal. And now it looks like, again, you're like, all right, well, all right, I did achieve the goal, but now it looks like that wasn't exactly good enough for what I really wanted. So now I have to go back to the drawing board. So you could feel the urge to throw yourselves back into the fray around the situation and try to achieve even more at this time. Right, in the environment position, we have the Hierophant. So this is actually the major arcana card for Taurus. And yeah, this could just be saying that maybe, like I was saying with the Sun card and the Foundation, I feel like there's a nudge for you to take a more light, playful approach to things this month. And then seeing this in the environment could just be saying that you might be getting a nudge spiritually that says, hey, try to give yourself a breather here, right? I have faith that, yes, understandable, right? Like the example there is very practical and true for a lot of people. That very easily could have been something that might have happened to you, right? But it's like, okay, but I think the universe is just saying to breathe a little bit, right? Don't feel like you constantly have to push yourselves more and more and more, right? Because, okay, then you set your goal for 100 grand, and then 4 years from now, things are even crazier, and then it's like, okay, well, then you're still going to feel behind. That you could just end up in that repetitive cycle. So I feel like this is calling on you to have a little bit of faith this month. Right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Queen of Swords. So yeah, this is actually the court card energy for Libra. So to see this, that's a lower version of the Justice card, but generally speaking, both Libra energies. So to me, this says that, yeah, you would like to see that balance restored, right? So that's always a good thing. At least that's a good start, right? Where you're like, okay, yes, things are out of balance. I'm not happy with that. Because like I was saying, when I saw the Emperor in the challenge position, I was saying maybe in some ways you guys could be getting in your own way. But even if that is the case, I feel like it's not necessarily intentionally that you're, making things difficult for yourselves. It's like you would like to see an easier way, but maybe you're just not quite sure you could see that way forward just yet. So this is at least a good indicator that overall you would like to see that balance restored and you're not actively trying to sabotage yourself. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the King of Swords. So this is actually Aquarius energy. So yeah, like I said, there's tons of energy in your 10th house right now. It even came through in your dice. So it could just be one of those things where, like I said, as you feel that shift of energy, which Capricorn energy is a square to Aries energy. So as it moves into Aquarius, which is a more supportive energy for your sign, you might start to feel like that pressure is lessening a little bit, right? So like I said, we're about to have Pluto uh, move into Aquarius again after it's been in Capricorn for a very long time. And then after that, like I said, Venus will be moving in there, Mercury will be moving in there, Mars will be moving in there as we progress through February. Um, Obviously, the sun, like I said, at the time of recording this, we haven't officially moved into Aquarius season yet. But yeah, once you start to feel those shifts, that could make you feel more sure of yourself, more confident, and more settled. So definitely a positive there. All right, and bottom of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles. So yeah, this is more Taurus energy here, and it could just be saying that, at the end of the day, you might actually be a lot more secure within your position than you might feel at this time. Like I said, it's understandable where we gave a very realistic example of how things could have shifted for someone in just a short time, relatively speaking, to where you might have set these goals in place and now things are totally different. So overall, it looks like this is saying that, you're going to see probably outward evidence of the fact that you are a little bit more secure in your position this month than you might have thought. All right, so moving on to your Four Greens card, we have Be Impeccable with your word, and it says let go of self-judgment and blame. Right? It says being impeccable, you take responsibility for your actions, but you do not judge or blame yourself for anything. So this is definitely an important message if, like, going back to the generic example I gave there, right? So the worst thing that could happen would be for you to say, hey, I set this goal, I'm going to get out of school, I'm going to be making 70,000 a year, it's going to allow me to get all these things I need, right? And then you get the 70 grand, but now, like we said, now you could get so much less with that you might feel inadequate in a certain way. And it's saying, well, definitely don't judge or blame yourselves like for that, because how would you have known that would have been the circumstances at this time, right? So hopefully that resonated with you if that's how you're feeling. From the Wisdom Oracle, we have Time for a Nap. There's the artwork, and the number is 24. So we'll see what this has to say. Okay, essential meanings says rest, rejuvenation, and renewal, temporary non-action, allowing dreams to arise. The Oracle's message: this is a time to step away and rest. Let the cares of your world go. Go into a state of non-action and allow yourself to be free of the shackles of your goals, your list, your desires. Nothing is as important as rest, detachment, and neutrality. The overly busy mind can block you from inner wisdom. If you don't step back, take a seat, and rest. Be willing to let dreams surface and ideas flow through you, absent any force or conscious direction, as you observe without engagement now. So yeah, definitely a supportive message there that more or less covers what we were talking about for a good portion of the reading, so hopefully that resonated. The relationship message says when it comes to matters at heart, don't make any plans right now. If you're not partnered, it's good to take this time out to get to know yourself. If you're involved with someone, relax and just be with your partner. This is going to be an uneventful moment in time. Don't force anything now. Allow things to flow naturally, and a beautiful renewal will take place all by itself. Patience is the key to your heart's desire right now. Withdraw from action in your relationship and give it a rest so that your love and connection can become rejuvenated. So yeah, definitely a positive message there too, especially the part where you mentioned if you're not partnered, it's good to take this time out to get to know yourself, right? So looking at these two cards or that context, it could just be saying that maybe if you have felt like you've struggled when it comes to romantic connections, right? It could just be saying, well, this could be a good time to look at yourself and maybe see what expectations you might have versus, what's realistic, what's not, things along those lines. So that way, when you do go through that evaluation, you will be a lot more equipped to be in a healthy connection from there. All right, the prosperity message says this is a great time to take a break from your busy schedule and allow yourself the opportunity to step back. Your plans are meant to be put on ice. Your goals can wait. Dream, imagine, and let go of attachments to any outcome now. Meditate and take a holiday if you can. Things will speed up soon enough. After a break, you may want to make some changes. Epiphanies have an amazing way of arising when you take your focus off your to-do list and allow yourself to rest. So yeah, again, definitely a positive message there, especially because, like I said, yeah, your 10th house is very loaded, especially like you mentioned, that long-term transit you guys had going through Pluto. So it could just be one of those things where that was almost an obsessive push you guys might have felt in that area of life, and now as those energies move out of there, you just might feel like, okay, this might actually be a ideal time to press reset, and then maybe go back to tackling the goals when we get back to your season, which will be here before we know it, right? So, hope it resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and we'll see you all next month. All right, bye.